On this episode of Still Loading, Goldfinger.
He's the man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the Still Loading podcast. I am your host, Josh Koval, and today on the show, we are bringing back one of my favorite formats. A couple months ago, like the beginning of this year, I did an episode of the podcast with my friends over at the Taste of Dragons, and we played through as much as we could, at least, of a James Bond text adventure. Well, today I have two new friends on the show. We're going to play through a different text adventure. Last one was A View to a Kill. This one is Goldfinger. And with me today to play through Goldfinger are Mel and Chris, a.k.a. Birb and Brit. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having us on, Josh.
Yeah, man, fantastic for this. I'm so up for some video games in a completely different format, so very up for this.
Thank you guys for coming on. For those who don't know, Birb is Mel and Brit is Chris. I mean, I guess you could kind of tell since Chris is from the UK, you can kind of hear in his voice. And we're just, East Coasters, born and bred and boring.
I was actually born in the deep South. I'm a Louisiana girl. Yeah, moved up to the DC area 2 months before Katrina hit. So.
Oh, wow.
I'm a transplant, yeah.
Wow, you right before. Holy crap, that's nuts. What could, I mean, it sucks for everyone down there, but lucky timing for you.
Yes, dodged a bullet.
Holy crap. So before we dive into this, let's take the temperature here. Let's see where you guys all stand. So let's start off with both of you. What are your earliest gaming memories? Mel, go ahead first.
I guess ladies first then. All right. Oh my goodness. I am a board game freak. I love board games.
Okay.
I mean, earliest memories would be breaking out the Hungry Hungry Hippos. And then I will never forget the Christmas where I got my very first Atari, the 2600.
Classic.
And all of my friends later started getting Nintendos, and my Atari went on the fritz. And rather than get a Nintendo, we got the Atari 7800.
Okay.
Which I still have to this day and still works great. With loads of games, the E.T. and Pitfall and Kaboom. Still love it. Still have a great time with it. But yeah, I never really graduated past that.
Hey, no judgment here. Everyone has their own gaming journey, and yours just happened to lead down the 7800 path. 7200? I'm blanking on it now.
7800.
7800, yeah. Okay. All right, Chris, what about you?
I'm a bit more of a nerd, unfortunately. So,
welcome company here. You're within good company. That's what I'm trying to say. That was not a phrase.
That's okay. The first video game I ever played at a very young age was my my godfather's version of Sonic the Hedgehog on what we call the Sega Mega Drive, but it's the Genesis for you guys, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Mega Drive for over literally everywhere else but the US and Canada. It's the Mega Drive.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I played that, and I remember having very fond childhood memories of playing that. We then borrowed a friend's Nintendo 64, which was blessed with GoldenEye 64, which is my favorite game of all time, Super Mario 64, and some fantastic games. And after having such a good game with that system, for that Christmas, my parents bought me a PlayStation 1. So I got a slightly different avenue of games on that side, but since then I've never really stopped, I'm afraid. I've got quite a few different systems. I mean, obviously, I've got quite big nostalgia for the N64 and the PlayStation 1 era. I mean, those to get like Tomb Raider, GoldenEye 64, as I've mentioned, are some of my favorite games. And it's up to the stage now. I've got a Switch, I've got a PlayStation 4, I've got all the consoles kind of in between as well. And I just thoroughly enjoy playing all those sorts of games. Yeah, I'd say my favorite game is definitely GoldenEye 64. I mean, that's nostalgia's talking massively heavily there. But apart from that, there's platformers, which I really get involved with, first-person shooters. I've kind of diced with everything. I've really enjoyed all of it. And yeah, and as Mel knows, quite frequently, as opposed to listening to regular music, I'll just put on video game soundtracks. That's one of my favorite different things to do, just because I love those sorts of aspects of it. So video gaming and video game culture is a pretty big thing for me.
I can't believe I have not had you on sooner then. So The way I met both of these wonderful people is through Instagram. Mel has an Instagram page, called Birb, James Birb, and Chris has a Instagram page called British Bond Addict. And it's I found you. Well, I found you, Chris, through Mel, but like I was perusing one day. I forget how I even found your page, Mel, but I just remember scrolling through Instagram, and all of a sudden I saw a bird. What type of bird do you have? What type of bird is Birb?
It is a Senegal parrot.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so a parrot dressed up as James Bond, and I'm like, what sort of wizardry is this? I need to see more of this page. And then I clicked on your page. I'm like, all of this is just a parrot dressed up as James Bond. I didn't know I needed this, and now it's here. And then obviously seeing Chris's page through yours and like you guys interacting, I'm like, and I seeing all the stuff you would post, Chris, and I'm like, this is, there's nobody in. I was telling you guys off mic that there's not really anybody in my area who likes James Bond as much as I do. So seeing that you guys had a similar passion, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to start interacting with them more. So that's pretty much the basis for all of this. And with all that said, since we're talking about James Bond, how did you guys both get into it? Since we started off with Mel last time, Chris, let's go with you first.
For me personally, my dad has probably been the biggest influence. I mean, every weekend growing up, there was always a Bond film on, and it'd always be the rotation of his three favorites, which would be Man with the Golden Gun, Diamonds Are Forever, and probably Goldfinger, which makes this even more appropriate. And it's kind of always on in the background. So I always had the invested interest there. Then, of course, as I said, when we borrowed the N64, playing it on a games console was mind blowing to me. I mean, I don't think I'd seen Goldfinger at that point because I was still. Goldfinger was 97, so I would have been quite young at that point.
95 was the movie, 97 was the game, I think.
Yeah, 97 was the game. Of course, playing that for the first time, I think that's probably more responsible than I know for getting me into Bond overall. But it's basically been non-stop since then. I mean, with my dad, who's as big of a nerd as I am, if not more so, I couldn't avoid it. So I got into Bond that way, and it's definitely picked up more in the last 10 years or so. Definitely, it's kind of taken more. I've taken more proactive steps to get into basically, Bond fans,
like
Bond
getting
fans.
involved with the Bond community and whatnot.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And it's always just been a staple. It's the sort of thing if Dad and I sit down and say like, "Hey, do you want to watch a Bond film?" None of us will ever say no. It's always been one of the things. It's been one of the things we share, and it's one of the things I hold quite dear with him. It's always positive memories, positive vibes, all that sort of thing.
That's really cool. What about you, Mel?
So I'm the baby in the family. My sister and brother are 15 and 16 years my elder. I was a late in life baby for my parents.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So I was very young and, of course, looked up to my big brother, My earliest memories of him, he was in college. So, but I feel like kind of like my first, everything with James Bond really clicked is, as I mentioned earlier, I was a Louisiana girl. And I remember, my sister and brother were each married at the time and brought their spouses down. And we had this huge Christmas get together. And Dad drove to the video store to pick up a VHS and came back with Live and Let Die.
Okay.
And I thought just the concept of this spy tooling around the swamps of Louisiana was the coolest thing on the planet to me. And just fell into it that way. Just start of an early obsession. My very first Bond film in the theater was A View to a Kill.
Ooh, okay.
And I was probably too young to be going to the theater, but it was the 80s. Who cared?
Parents didn't care then.
No. No, and thank goodness all of that went over my head, because as an adult, when I think back of watching these films with my dad, I didn't get half of that. And when I went back and watched them all in college, I'm like, oh, I can't believe that. I was mortified. And but no, I just love it. Back in the 90s, of course, and early 2000s, got into some of the James Bond message boards and hanging out with fans that way. And then with the pandemic, that was how I fell into Instagram and wanted just a little bit of levity. So as you mentioned, started dressing up my parrot like James Bond.
Hey man, 2020 took it hard on all of us. I don't blame you.
Exactly. And he whistles the James Bond theme, and so it just got really...
What?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, he does. Yeah, I've got a couple videos of him doing it on the Instagram account, so you can check that out. But
that's pretty fantastic.
Just started getting silly with it, having a lot of fun, and met our friend Chris, Brit, through Instagram, and who shares a very similar sense of humor, and that's how Birb and Brit were born.
I think it started. I saw basically a picture of Birb, as you say, dressed up like, you know, in the tuxedo, and I was like, okay, if you're open, I need to have a picture of this bird because it's awesome. And I think we did our own gun barrel pose essentially, didn't we? Which was the first one, and that was. That got some incredible reception. After that, it was like, okay, we need to do more of this.
Now I really want to see you guys collaborate to create a whole run of like fake Bond movie posters. So it's like Dr. Birb, From Russia with Birb, Goldfinger. That's the name. I was the Birb who loved me.
Oh, that's the thing, though. It's the ability with Bond, because there's been so many films and so much history at this point. The ability to, you know, parrot, as Mel calls it, to do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's unlimited potential. And with, as far as I'm aware, the only Birb fanatic on Instagram. There's so much potential in one specific area. It's brilliant.
What's so great about Bond to what you were saying, Chris, is that like the franchise has evolved so much. Like, so I was telling my friend Erica, as I was staying off mic, I have a friend who's watching all of them for the first time, and I was giving her some warnings because, especially in like Goldfinger, when Bond hooks up with Pussy Galore, I can't say that name with a straight face. Even as a kid, that scene really kind of like left me a little weirded out because it didn't seem right. And obviously now with hindsight, you kind of understand that really is kind of messed up. So just kind of giving her warnings on that. But what I love about the Bond series is how much it's evolved since then. Like it evolves so much with the times where it's like, yeah, it had all this kind of problematic stuff back in the 60s when that was more acceptable. But as you see the movie series grow, it still feels like Bond, but it still evolves. I don't know. I think that's why I like the series so much still, is just seeing the evolution of where it started and where it ended. It's great. The way I got into Bond, to kind of close this out before we move on to the game, was back when I was a kid. Chris, I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 32. There was I remember my parents had, we didn't have cable, but periodically the cable company would be like, we're just going to give you HBO, or we're just going to give you Showtime for like a month and get one of those premium cable channels. And it was shortly after The World Is Not Enough came out, and they had the full movie on unedited, and we recorded it right off of that Showtime like sample. And I remember watching it, and the beginning of the movie just blew me away, where, you know, Pierce Brosnan is James Bond, and he, like, it's ridiculous now, but, you know, he takes the beginning of the movie where he pulls off the shades and the wire, the ropes within the shades, to use it as like a repellent, like a rope to rappel down the side of a building in a bank in Spain. And then stuff is blowing up, and I was just blown. And then it cuts over to, he's at MI6, and then MI6 blows up, so he launches out of a dry dock that's for some reason on the third floor of MI6 and into the Thames River, and he's like chasing after this person. Yes, and the whole tie straight,
yes, exactly,
bit underwater. It blew my little like 12-year-old mind. I just could not believe, or like 10 or 11-year-old mind. I was just like, what is this? My dad's like, oh, this is James Bond. And that's how I fell in love with it. And I remember we would rent movies from our local library because it was cheaper than Blockbuster and any other big rental companies in our area. And I asked my mom, rent me a James Bond movie, and she came back with You Only Live Twice. And at that point, I had no idea, like, the age of the Bond franchise. Like, when she brought that back and Sean Connery as James Bond, I'm like, this isn't Pierce Brosnan. Why does this look so old? Where's all the technology? Where's all the explosions?
Yeah.
And I was just so confused by it, and that ever since then, that sparked my love of James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun franchise.
It's a
Well,
great franchise.
and I think for me it extends beyond Bond because, especially now living in the DC area, it's just spies are cool. They're real life superheroes. They put themselves in danger. The entire espionage aspect. I mean, this is, as kids we play hide and seek growing up, and now as adults, these are people who have to
Just
sneak
keep playing. They never
around.
stop playing. They're still hiding.
Keeping the gaming aspect going here.
I just love your description of just boiling down spy work into it's just a big game of hide and seek. It's just, that's all they're doing. They're not, like there's no country secrets. It's just like they just want to play hide and seek with each other. It's a really cute international hide and seek game. Oh, are you in Moscow? I'm in I'm in London. All right, so we're gonna dive into this now. So let's start up the game. I will read you guys off the prompt. I gave you guys a list of commands that you can choose from. A lot of the commands are just simply, like go north, west, south, or east. For those listening, what is probably going to happen is I may have to periodically give some answers because some of these are bizarrely specific, not just a simple go north, south, east, or west, or open this door or close this door. It'll be like, look closely at this object. And why would you think to add the modifier of closely? Why not just look? But whatever. So here we are. Let's dive into this. So it counts your moves. Move number 0. Your brand new silver Aston Martin streaks down a dark alpine road. A glance in the rearview mirror reflects several sets of bright headlights closing in fast. You step on the gas, determined to escape and continue your surveillance of suspected gold smuggler Arik Goldfinger. The aristocratic blonde beside you... Sorry. I don't know. Just the description made me laugh. The aristocratic blonde beside you grips your arm as you spin through a turn. Moonlight and fear race across her face. Tilly Masterson, out to avenge her sister's death. Another naive beauty in over her head. Okay. A treacherous hairpin turn lies dead ahead to the west. You brake, wrestling the wheel for control. The lead Mercedes roars its approach. One of the Koreans inside leans out and takes aim. Gunfire rakes the dirt around you, but your cool nerves cancels fear. You're Bond, James Bond, 007, and License to Kill. This is the game you know best. It's time to even the odds and see what this car can do. Damn, you think to yourself as you reach for the armrest. Next time I take a car from Q Branch, I really should listen to Q. So that's your opening prompt. I guess your options here, just to kind of give you a little bit of head start, is that they point out specifically, there's a deadly hairpin turn dead ahead to the west. You're having trouble. A guy is gaining on you, and you have your armrest, which you reach for your armrest at the last minute, or on the last paragraph. So what do you guys want to do?
Flip the armrest.
Yeah, let's flip the armrest.
The DB5 doesn't have sufficient room for flipping. The lead car is gaining ground on you. It's now only 50 meters behind you.
Oh no, they want us to flip the car, not just the armrest. All right, let's do this hairpin turn. You ready, Brit?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Do you want me to type west then?
Let's try it. Go west.
Life is peaceful there.
The road jackknifes here into a treacherous hairpin turn. Black skid marks snake across the tarmac, following the road's edge as it twists back upon itself. An S-curve flows to the east. To the west, the road climbs toward the South Pass.
Ooh.
That's a whole bunch of directions all in the descent.
So do we go east or do we go west? Do we climb up to the pass, or do we try to go east? See, if it was Birb, he would just say, let's fly out of here.
Can I give you guys a suggestion?
Of course.
Because you were close to it. Open armrest.
Oh, open flip. We said, okay, let's try to open the armrest then to get to the gadgets.
Oh, yeah.
You open the armrest. It contains the buttons. That's so not specific. The lead Mercedes has caught up to you. One of the Koreans leans out and fires a shot.
Ooh, oh no! We're getting shot at. Oh.
All right, I'm going to give, let me see if this actually helps. Yeah, there's no way that you'd be able to know this.
I want to press a button. Press buttons.
That's good. It says, because this one, here's one of those examples of a bizarrely specific command. Press white button. How would you know which button to press? It doesn't tell you the colors of them in the description here.
Yeah,
press white button.
Any colors sticking out to you there? Any colors you think would be cool?
I know, right? Like, just it's so weird. All right, so this there's a grinding sound from the back of the DB5. The boot springs open and 100 razor sharp spikes fall and spark like fireworks on the road behind you. One of the Mercedes tears over the spikes. Its tires are chewed to shreds and it skids wildly into and through a guardrail, bursting into a ball of flame as it spirals down the mountainside. Man, that thing just must have been filled with gasoline. It just got hit with it literally just got a flat tire.
Oh, we're gonna
going like 80 miles an hour, but then it just burst into flames.
We need
Tilly
quick,
relaxes.
We need to say something cool to I guess they went out with a bang.
Do you want me to type that? I'll read the rest of the description, but do you want me to type that? They went out with a bang?
Sure.
All right, let's see what happens. So Tilly relaxes slightly and a taut smile crosses her face for a moment. You speed on toward the South Pass. Channeled between two mountains, the wind howls like a banshee through this narrow southern pass. Great evergreen forests stretch up the mountainsides to sheer rock. The road heads west to an intersection with a major highway. From there, a pair of blinding headlights are moving straight toward you at a high rate of speed. To the east, the road contorts into a hairpin turn, while a pass road leads north. The lead car now has lost ground. It's more than 100 meters back. Well, no shit, you just went off the guardrail. So you want me to type in "they went out with a bang"?
I want to press more buttons.
Yeah,
do you want to try a different?
The Birb jumps down, starts pecking wildly. I can't control it.
Do you want to try another button?
Yeah.
Do it. See what happens.
Let me see what color. We have no idea. So
you're the choice. You're the one going.
The walkthrough here doesn't tell me. Sorry, what?
But I feel like Birb's one that's going mental with the buttons here. So I'd say it's Birb's choice which button he picks. They pick. Sorry.
Well, let's see. Is there a yellow button?
We'll find out. It doesn't tell me the colors. It literally doesn't tell me anything of the colors. I'm looking at the strategy guide too, like the walkthrough, which is how I'm trying to like. That way, when it gets to a spot, like I said before, like how would you know to press the white button? I can tell you to press the white button. So, what color did you say again?
Let's try yellow, because I'm pretty sure if we press a red button, it'll eject Tilly.
Well, that doesn't help you. You'll have to be more specific about which button you wish to press. The lead Mercedes is gaining ground on you. It's now only 50 meters behind you. So apparently there's no yellow button. Go figure.
Okay. Can we just try press button? Or is it going to tell us to be more specific?
It's the same thing. You have to be more specific.
Press silver button. Going to drive your listeners crazy. How many colors are you going to go through, Melanie?
You have to be more specific about which button you wish to press. Gunfire. Now it says the gunfire rakes the ground around you.
What do you say, Chris? Do we do the hairpin turn?
Yeah, good. Let's do the hairpin turn. Let's go for it.
All right, the hairpin turn is road the east.
Go to the east, yeah.
To the east, right?
Yeah, go east.
As you turn to face your pursuers, a tank-like Mercedes flattens the front half of your DB5. Oops. Before you or Tilly can move, you're surrounded by Korean guards. A quick blow to your temple from the steel butt of a guard's sidearm knocks you out cold. You slowly return to the land of the living. Vague voices murmur in the background. As your eyes open, you try to stand up, but you can only lift your head. You are manacled to a long, narrow table in the middle of a warehouse. Anchored into the high ceiling, a huge laser is light. Its light as bright and relentless as a cyclops eye points right between your legs. That's very specific. Goldfinger is here. Goldfinger is a red-faced man with a head too large for his stocky body. Sorry, just like the meanness of that description. Poor or Goldfinger, man. That's funny. Carrot-colored hair curls sparsely on his scalp and looks like like unstoppable lichen everywhere else. Wow. When he looks at you, his bloodshot eyes glint like brass scales weighing your worth. Okay. I have no idea what exactly to do here.
Well, I mean, we've seen the movie. We know how this goes. We have to talk to Goldfinger.
Yes.
We're going to have to use our wits here.
I agree.
Give me one second. Let me see if I can. Okay. Wow, this is so weird. So you do meet Goldfinger later on in this walkthrough, right? And it has the exact same last paragraph of the Goldfinger is a red-faced man and he's weighing your worth, but I don't think you can do what they're telling you to do here because you're tied down. They tell you to kick Goldfinger.
Huh.
What?
I don't think you're in the same spot. Okay, so
I see in our list of prompts, one of them is get out. Can we just get out?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Let's try that.
I tried that. It says that's not a viable option, 007. As you lie there, the bright starlight red laser light burns through the table between your legs, inches past your knees. All right, so in the movie, he talks to them, right? So did you want me to say, like, talk to Goldfinger?
Let's try that and see what happens.
Okay. Goldfinger, my name has inspired me all my life. Oh, this is him saying, my name has inspired me all my life. Wait, am I missing something? Growing impatient, Goldfinger motions behind him, and out of the shadows steps the sinister figure of Oddjob, his steel-rimmed bowler nestled in the crook of one arm. If armored tanks could breed, they'd give birth to Oddjob.
Oh, jeez.
What?
If armored tanks could breed, they'd give birth to Oddjob. That's the sentence.
Little baby tanks.
With little steel brimmed hats on them.
You mentioned kicking. I mean, I guess a few of the other things we could try unlock.
Here, hold on. Let's see. There's
trying to kiss Gold.
We'll do it. Let me. 350 pounds of Korean muscle. He stands 6 feet tall and a yard wide. His hands are lethal weapons. So are his feet, his elbows, his knees, and sometimes his head. Two Koreans pull a struggling Tilly forward. At a nod from Goldfinger, Oddjob grips the edge of the bowler and with a flick of his wrist spins it in a deadly arc towards Tilly. Her eyes widen and hard just before the bowler strikes, snapping her neck. She crumples to the floor like a puppet whose strings have been cut. Wow, man,
gosh. The description. This is...
Are we making a lot.
Are we reading Fleming or are we playing a text-based game? You say it's Raymond Benson, right? So he's got...
Yeah, it's Raymond Benson.
He's got a flair for being an author.
Goldfinger mutters, she should have stayed in England. Hold on. Let me click back over here. It says more, so can I see more?
This isn't looking good for us, Brit.
No, this is this the end of Birb and Brit?
We would just start over.
This is actually is this the pre-title sequence where actually it was all a dream?
Yeah. For some reason, it's not letting me go down. I figured this out once before.
I feel like
oh, there we go. I got it.
Talking is sort of our way out of these things.
The red light of the laser continues. The red light of the laser continues its precise slicing of the table until it's only inches from the top of your thigh. I don't know what options you have here.
Can we unlock?
Oh my God. The other walkthrough didn't have this. It literally gives you a whole list of commands that you can use. Huh.
Oh, what commands?
So it says the command walkthrough only. So it's like it gives you like all the different commands that you can use throughout the game. I don't know if that's part of the main, like if that came with the original manual, like are you supposed to figure that out or I don't know.
Well, what are our choices?
Let me see if there's any that we can see right here. Hold on. One of them is "Woman, tell me about Goldfinger," or "Woman, tell me about Grand Slam."
Where's the polite text format?
I know, right? I'm trying to see if there is like something that'll tell you One is just type my golden girls. Okay. There's not, I don't know what else there. It doesn't really have an option to get out of this. So either this might be it. Do you want to try kick or do you want to try something else?
Um.
Kiss. We could try kissing.
Oh, actually, we've got kiss. I'm looking at flip. Can we do like a judo flip? Are we underestimating Bond's skills here? Because let's face it, Oddjob's a master in karate, right? So therefore, we should be able to do something in combat.
All right, I tried flip Goldfinger. With those manacles around your
I'll try
wrists and
Goldfinger.
ankles, you can barely brink, much less flip. The laser light stops just short of causing complete disaster. Goldfinger starts walking toward the door, then pauses. This is Goldfinger speaking. My associate, Mr. Ling, has informed me of an interesting background, 007. At some point, you may be worth something to me alive, but now I have a plane waiting. My men will make you uncomfortable. Goodbye. He turns, and then he's gone. Several surly guards waste no time in throwing you into a cold hard cell. You lie there, tied up like a turkey, until you are freed during a raid of ARC Enterprises by MI6 and the Swiss. The end. Would you like to play again?
I can't believe that. Like, that's the thing. I was kind of expecting when you said, okay, we got thrown into a cell. I was like, okay, we just had to like basically, just chat our way out of it. Okay, so part one, how not to play Goldfinger with Birb and Brit. This is actually we did this deliberately for any of the listeners who wanted to know how not to complete the game. So consider this a basic sort of like what's the word? A tutorial. What not to do. Trying to think of a fancier word.
There's so much, like some of the things on here. It says closely look at picture, like the list of all the possible ones. Closely look at this. Closely look at plaque. Closely look at plans. Do you have an ingot? Is one of the commands. Like you type it in as a question.
That
like
must be for
like
a gold
ingot
later, right?
type of thing.
That must be like a golf thing later, surely.
That's very strange.
Right,
yeah, but you can like. That's so wild. So back to the beginning. Yeah, we're gonna try again. Let's go at least one more try. So we have once again, you're chasing after gold. I'm not gonna reread the whole thing again, just because it's like 4 paragraphs long. But it's Tilly's with you. You're driving down an alpine road, trying to trying to continue your surveillance of Goldfinger.
I'm getting deja vu
and you're getting chased by Koreans. And so once again, just some of the info. Treacher's hairpin turn lies dead ahead to the west. You brake wrestle with wheel for control, and you reach for the armrest. So those are the 2 highlights.
Okay.
Well, I think let's open the armrest again, because that went well the first time.
Let's press. That's incredible.
We got rid of one of the Mercedes that way.
You open the armrest. It contains the buttons. The lead car is gaining ground on you. Now it's only 50 meters behind you. And just to give you, I'm going to at least, hold on, let me scroll down. I'm going to give you guys this, because how else are you supposed to know the different colors? It appears to be, besides the white one, which you already know, you have a gray and black one as well.
Oh, okay. So we did the white one last time. Let's press, what do you say, Chris? Gray or black?
Let's go black. Black sounds sinister, right?
Press black button. A spraying sound comes from the back of the DB5.
Oil.
A glance in your rearview mirror shows an oil slick glistening across the surface of the road. One of the Mercedes hits it, spins like a pinwheel, and smashes through a guardrail to the valley below. You speed on toward the hairpin. The road jackknifes here into a treacherous hairpin turn. Black skid marks snake across the tarmac following the road's edge. As it twists back upon itself, an S-curve flows to the east, and it's into the west. The road climbs toward the South Pass. The lead Mercedes now has lost ground. It's more than 100 meters back.
Okay, well, we know we can't do the hairpin. We'll get caught, so let's go to the west.
Okay. We can't do the song every single time we pick west, right? It's going to get very tiring for the audience.
Channeled between 2 mountains, the wind howls like a banshee through this narrow southern pass. Great evergreen forest. I've already read all this. To the east, the road contorts into a hairpin turn, while the pass road leads north. The lead Mercedes gains ground on you. It's only 50 meters behind you now. So you still have white and silver as white and gray as button options.
You want to see what the gray one does?
Just like, quick question: can birds see color? Are birds colorblind?
Birds can see more color than people.
Oh yeah,
can.
we discussed that. I was wondering if we were seeing a colorblind thing, and actually the white is actually yellow, the black was a very deep purple. I was wondering if we're just seeing it through Birb's eyes.
You just see Birb just driving a car, like standing on like the top of the steering wheel, so that way it just has to stand on either side to turn.
Squawking wildly.
just imagine the confusion in the henchman's face where they catch up to the car and there's just a bird yelling at them.
Bird? And it's wearing a tuxedo?
It's Birb, you motherfucker. Oh my god, that'd be funny. So what do you guys want to do? You can go to past road leads. You could go north, it seems like. You could also go back to the east.
I want to can we hit the gray button?
Press gray?
I'm all about the buttons. Gotta see what Q Branch has come up with.
Oh shoot, I hit shit. I hit press gray, not press gray button. All right, let's try it. So they got it right up close to you. Let's see what happens. Clouds of smoke billow from the exhaust pipe, making pea soup of the air behind you. Your pursuers slow down, but only momentarily. The wind quickly dissipates the smoke. Tilly's grip seems to soften on the DB5's dash, and the color begins to return to her knuckles. You speed on toward the road pass. Connecting to the south and north passes, the pass road clings to the wind-swept mountainside like a garter on a courtesan's thigh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is getting steamy up in here. Oh, my gosh. Whew. I need a fan in here. That is a vivid description of how wow. Boulders slick with moss line its shoulders. All around you, the Alps tower in frozen grandeur. The lead Mercedes has now fallen back to 50 meters behind you.
All right. Well, we know that the white button will drop the silver things. Why don't we hit white button?
All right.
Get rid of this guy.
There's a grinding sound from the back of DB5, so it pretty much has all that stuff. Bursting into a ball of flames, Tilly relaxes slightly. You speed toward the North Pass. This northern pass lies between two snow-clad peaks, one of which stands like a sentinel at the head of the valley guarding the village of Trellix far below. I don't even know if I said that correctly. The road leads east toward a lookout clinging to the steep flank, while the south it winds behind the other peak. That is very confusing. So let me read that again. This northern pass lies between two snow-clad peaks, one of which stands like a sentinel at the head of the valley guarding the village of Trellix far below. The road leads east toward a lookout clinging to the steep flank, while to the south it winds behind the other peak. To the north, the road enters a Swiss army base protected by an electric fence. Ranks of soldiers patrol like clockwork figures around the lone gray building behind the fence. The lead car has now lost ground. It's more than 100 meters back.
Ooh.
I wonder if you can use some of the buttons again. I don't know.
Yeah, going north seems like we're driving into a trap. That sounds like the sort of place we don't want to go.
Do you want to try to hide behind the peak at the one that goes to the south?
I think we've got enough distance, right? And that's the sort of thing you'd see in the film. You'd see like the camera would like blast past the bad guys would drive past and we'd be happy and safe behind something. So I think let's do that.
South?
Yeah. Right, behind the peak.
Oh, we're back here. It literally is the same thing again. We're now captured by Goldfinger. Basically, you turned and then you ran headfirst into another car.
I thought it was like a south slip. We're not very good at this, are we? Dear.
It's very hard
This is why parrots make terrible secret agents.
Yeah.
He's parroting our previous moves. Oh, dear.
Mom, how long till we get there? And Birb just squawks at him.
Yeah.
We must have to end up at that base.
Well, you also could have gone east as well, because like you could go south, east, or north. North was to the base. South, I guess that actually makes sense because you were heading north, and since you went south, you basically did a U-turn and just slammed right into them.
Yeah.
Do you want me to restart here so we don't have unless, or do you want to try to see if there is a way out of Goldfinger's clutches here?
I feel like we've been in the clutches before. I feel like it's gonna backdraft onto the same thing. I don't think of anything I would have done differently the last time we were in Goldfinger's clutches.
We didn't try kicking them.
We didn't try kicking. We didn't try kiss.
I'll try kiss.
Let's give Goldfinger a smooch.
Let's try kicking him. Kissing him's just gonna make it.
What?
Seriously?
Oh, the kick.
I don't know.
The kick footsie first, then kiss. There you go.
No, come on. This game was written how long ago?
86.
It's also text adventures are notorious because the text parser you have to be very specific with your options, and if it doesn't know what words are, then it's just like I don't understand that. This one though, I did try kiss. It says this is no time for kissing, and it says as you lie there, the bright straight red laser.
Try again. Kiss again. Kiss again. Be persistent.
That's come on, kick him. Kick him.
Well, let's
kiss with tongue.
Let's.
The laser's moving up to our crotch, Chris. Come on.
We know what happens with Pussy Galore later, and he's persistent as hell. Then let's try with Goldfinger. Where's he flipping to?
Turn him.
Oh, we got flip. Flip into hay bale.
It didn't work. It actually just reset.
Oh.
I tried kiss. I tried kiss with tongue, and I tried kick. So just to kind of recap, let me get back to you we can get back to it real quick. So we're going to open the armrest. So that way the buttons are available. Isn't that nuts? Like you can't just say, activate smoke screen or something like that. You actually have to use a command to open the armrest, then use another command to hit a button.
Well, we know what each one does. We know black is oil, gray is smoke, and white is the metal barbs. So
if you'd like, what I can tell you is I can take the I can tell you like what it would like use the guide up to the point that you were at if you would like. So they actually, I don't think it makes a difference. They say to use the white button first, but like I don't think it really makes a difference because it seemed like it was going in the same way. Like each one of those like helps dissipate and turns back one of the cars. But I wonder if the smoke screen is only useful prior to the pass because the pass it says it's windy, so it blows it all away. You know.
Or like you said, could we go into the compound and then try the gray button to create smoke so that the soldiers, I don't know, can't see us hop out of the car and make a run for it?
Yeah.
So right now we have the open armrest though. So do you want me to just move up, like get up to that spot again, sort of? Or do you want to try something different?
Yeah.
Wait, so yeah to what?
Oh, sorry. Let's go to we know the buttons. Let's go...
So right now the options are you can either go. Right now your options are because it's the beginning. We're still being chased. Do you want to go? Oh my God, where are you at? It's west or north.
West or north. Oh, and north is the military base, right?
Yeah.
North is the direction that you want to go because they're coming from the south.
So let's do north then. Let's do north.
We never know. The military may be on our side.
What? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. It says you can't drive that direction, which doesn't make any sense. Oh, wait. Okay, so let's go west. If that doesn't work, the other option
go west.
Okay.
Goldfinger is not there.
All right, so basically the lead car is right behind you. The road jackknifes here into a treacherous hairpin turn. Black skid marks snake across the tarmac following the road's edge. As it twists back upon itself, an S-curve flows to the east. To the west, the road climbs towards the South Pass. The lead car is still behind you, so the car is like right on you. So you're going to want to probably figure out something to get rid of it.
Well, let's go ahead. We know the spikes. Let's hit the white button. What do you say?
There you go.
We've had enough practice at this.
There you go. The car is gone.
Fantastic.
Channel between two mountains. That wind howls like a banshee. This narrow southern pass, great evergreen forest. I've already read all this. The lead car has lost ground. It's more than 100 meters back. To the east, the road contorts into a hairpin turn while the pass road leads north. So you have either north or east. You definitely don't want to go south because south is what will kill you.
Let's
And we
whack
don't
the
wanna
car
go
in
east.
reverse.
Let's go north.
No, hit the
go
brakes.
north.
Hit the brakes. Put the car in reverse. That'll surprise them. They'll never see it coming.
I know they'll never see it coming.
It's exactly what they didn't expect us to do.
When I did the A View to a Kill one, the dragons got so lost and we found our way back somehow. It was crazy. It was in Paris, and I didn't know the game was programmed for this, but they were like 4 streets over from where they needed to be. So they somehow figured out their way to get to the car they needed, because they got the keys to their car, and then they get down, and the game describes like 4 different cars, and they all sound like your car, and they're all different Aston Martins, but they're not your Aston Martin. So you have to find the right one. It was really weird.
Geez.
Yeah.
These are actually, it's actually tough.
Yeah,
it is. It's the sort of thing. The issue is it's tough, and then having to having to redo it again. That's where the replay value comes in, right? I was going into Blazing, be like, yeah, we'll make a choice and we'll get a way out of it. No, we need to take consideration with all of these.
Every single, and especially like games back in like the 80s, like there's no I've talked about this with friends before, and I've also talked about it on the podcast before. There's a thing in game design that developers do a lot better now, but it's respecting the player's time. It's like, this is fun because we're kind of joking around and everything, but if you're playing this by yourself, you'd be so mad because it's not respecting your time. You just have to constantly guess, test, and revise.
Yeah.
But all right, so Mel, you said go north from here, so let's do that. Connecting the south and north passes, the pass road clings to the windswept mountainside like a garter on a courtesan's thigh. Sorry, that's
I love that again.
Boulders slick with moss line its shoulders. All around the Alps tower and a frozen grid. The lead car is still more than 100 meters back.
More than 100. So we're making good time.
So it seems like the only direction now you can go is hold on, let me just make sure I'm reading this.
I
Basically,
think we have to go into
just
the
keep
compound.
going north. You can only go north.
Yeah.
So let's try that again. This northern pass lies between 2 snow-clad peaks. I've read this one before. The one is right above the village of Trelix, far below. The other one has a road that leads east towards a lookout clinging to a steep flank, while to the south it winds behind the other peak. You don't want to go south. We know this from last time. This is pretty much where we're at, because then the road to the north is what enters in the Swiss Army base. So
let's do it.
Do you want to go north then to the Swiss Army base?
Let's do it. North. I think we've tried our other options.
Yep, right, let's go north.
Let's do it. You can't drive that direction.
What?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, can we use something on the?
We have to get out of the car.
So it says, let me just make sure I'm reading that correctly. To the north, the road enters a Swiss Army base. Yeah, so you would think you would go north. So I guess the options are either go east, pretty much go east at that point, because I'll read the whole paragraph again. Northern pass lies between 2 snow-clad peaks, one of which stands like a sentinel at the head of a valley guarding the village. Far below, the road leads east towards a lookout to the steep flank, while to the south it winds below the other peak.
Okay,
to the north enters. So it was either north or east. It was your options. We tried north.
Can't go north.
So and the car is now shooting at you. Like they're right up on you.
So we can do the oil slick.
Yeah.
You want to try that one? That is, I believe,
black. That's black.
A spraying sound comes with the back of the DB5. Tilly relaxes slightly. Hugging the mountainside lookout. Whoa. It didn't do anything.
What?
It said, oil slick glistening across the surface of the road. Tilly relaxes slightly. You speed toward Lookout Road. Hugging the mountainside, Lookout Road offers a Christmas card view of the valley below, where a white steeple towers over the neat shops and houses of Trelix. To the west is the North Pass, and to the east is a sharp curve. The road's southern shoulder widens into a lookout. In the ground is a manhole cover. Okay. In the ground is a manhole cover. The lead car is still close behind you.
Okay. I mean, we've tried going east the one time and we got caught. We tried going south the one time and we got caught. Is there any way, should we try just getting out of the car?
I love that it's like go west to go on the north path. It's like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's very confusing.
Are we meant to stop at this point? Like, just take them on?
Or I'm curious if this is the type of game where no matter what we do, eventually we're going to get caught by Goldfinger and end up strapped to the laser table, regardless.
According to this, no, because it did not give me an option. Like when I searched for the script that we were on where we're stuck on the table, it did not have. It was not on the walkthrough, so you don't need to get caught by him.
Okay, we're just really.
The thing is that since I only have the walkthrough up, it doesn't have all the different possibilities of places you can go. So when you go there, you're just as lost as I am at that point. So like when we got to Goldfinger, I'm like, well, the strategy guys got nothing on this. We're on our own. We got to see what we can.
What this boils down to essentially is we're really, really bad at hide and seek. We're like the toddler who like stands behind the curtain so you can see like all of their legs and just not their head, right?
I can definitely hide behind this lamppost.
If I can't see them, they can't see me, right?
Just put a pillow on our head.
Right. In that case, should we go on to the North Road then? Which is west, right?
Sure, let's try it.
West to go north.
Let's go north.
Because I would have thought the military base would be the place we'd go.
What?
I thought that would have been it. Oh.
Well, apparently you can't drive that direction, even though it said you could drive that direction, and now we're captured by Goldfinger again.
Oh my
gosh! This is fantastic. This is such a mind bender. Okay, so
and I don't want to just give you what the strategy guide said because that ruins the fun.
This time, do kick then kiss.
All right, kick. You aren't in very good position to do any kicking as you lie there. The starlight. Hold on. Let me see.
Gosh.
Speak
with examine. How about examine? Examine is one of the prompts. Maybe there's some type of examine restraints.
Yeah. I never thought in our
Bond laser.
I never thought in our Bond film we wouldn't be able to get past the pre-title sequence.
Nope, it doesn't. Yeah, it didn't work. It just kept. I tried kick. I tried kiss. Then I tried examine. It seems like you only get 3 tries, and then all of a sudden it's just like, well, you died. Start over again.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh, that's like the Austin Powers thing. Ask 3 times and they'll answer what the question is, right?
It's just, this is really tough. Like the other one was tough too, but this one is like especially difficult.
That's all right. That's all right.
Do you want to try one more time?
Right? Oh yeah,
you want to try one more time?
Let's try one more time. And if there's like some heavenly guidance that were to rain down, like Bond's instinct or Birb's instinct, we say, and if it took the voice of somebody who's possibly in Philadelphia, that could be quite useful.
Okay. So far, the first thing is open armrest. So we'll always start with that. Says the voice in Philadelphia. And then we have you open the armrest. It contains the buttons. The lead car is getting ground on you. It's now only 50 meters behind you. We're going to continue going west. And now this one here, the first one it tells you to do is press the white button. So we're going to do the white button because we know that's the spikes. But what's happening here is the road jackknifes here into a treacherous hairpin turn. Black skid marks snake across the tarmac. Okay, this makes sense now because since it's a hairpin turn, they can't dodge out of the way quickly enough for the spikes, right? So either the spikes or the oil slick would probably be the best bet.
Yeah, because
lead Mercedes has caught up to you. One of the Koreans leans out and fires a shot. We press the white button.
Yes.
I opened. Oh my god! I hit open armrest, and it says you still have to open the armrest.
I love that.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Task failed successfully.
I know, right? All right. Open armrest.
Press white button.
White button.
There we go.
I love the idea that Bond's going through technical difficulties at the moment.
I know. It's just like Spectre all over again.
It's like, God damn it, Q.
You too can be aggravated
Okay, so there is grinding sound from the back of the DB5. Hundreds of razor sharp spikes spill all across the road like fireworks, and spark like fireworks, on the road behind you. One of the Mercedes tears over the spikes and its tires are chewed to shreds, and it skids wildly into the guardrail, bursting into a ball of flame. It's made of gasoline. You speed toward the South Pass, channeled between 2 mountains. The wind howls like a banshee through this. narrow southern pass. The great evergreen forests stretch up, blah, blah, blah. To the east, the road contorts into a hairpin turn, which is where you just came from. That makes a lot of sense. See, this is why it's getting confusing, is because the first command we did was go west.
Yeah.
And that led you right into the hairpin turn. So we do the hairpin turn, and now that we're there, it's telling you to the east is the hairpin turn you just came from, but it doesn't tell you that you just came from it.
Okay.
So you have to remember which direction you came from. So when it describes something in the opposite direction, you know it's the way you came. That's why we're getting so confused here.
So we're constantly turning U's.
Pretty much, we're literally just like we just knocked somebody off, and then did a U. We were like, I got this, and then just slam head first. So if I typed in go east right now, most likely the game would be over. We'd be back in Goldfinger's clutches. So the only option here is to go north. The lead Mercedes has now lost ground. It's more than 100 meters back. So let's go north.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have connecting to the south and north passes. The pass road clings to the windswept mountains like a garter on a courtesan's thigh.
There we go. Bring it back again.
This hole. Back again. This is like that tree in the woods you keep passing over and over when you're lost. You keep getting back to this courtesan's thigh. So boulders slick with moss line its shoulders. All around you, the Alps are frozen. The lead car is gaining ground on you. It's now only 50 meters behind you. So that is not really like giving you any straight direction. So it seems like you can either try an attack or you could go north. Those are the two options I'm seeing right here.
Well, I think we should go north, right?
Yeah. Let's try that.
The north is not where we came from, just to be sure.
Yes.
And it's also smart because the Philly omnipresent voice thinks it's a good idea, but also because it's, if you think about it, the car is not close enough to you. So like if you do a move, if you do something when they're 50 meters back, then
it's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
All right. We've got this now.
I was about to say,
so let's go.
After, just reversing into the bad guys, we finally got the picture.
Right?
Also, I love the idea that like the omnipresent Philly voice is liked this message. He approves this move.
Omnipresent Philly voice. OPF. I'll just say
OPF.
Message from the OPF.
We need to consult the OPF.
So yeah, if you ever want to consult the OPF, just ask. The northern pass lies between the two snow-clad peaks. So we're back to these snow-clad peaks again. One's guarding the village of Trelix far below. The lead Mercedes has now caught up to you. One of the Koreans leans out and fires a shot. So this is where the Swiss army is to the north. To the north, the road enters a Swiss army base protected by an electric fence, the ranks of soldiers. So it gives you the options of going east towards the lookout, going north towards the army base, which last time we remember it did not work and says you can't go that way. So it's pretty much just east, or you can do an attack.
Well, and if he's leaning out to fire a shot, he should be close enough now that we could do our oil slick.
Yeah.
You want to go with oil slick?
Let's do it.
That's that thing. It went in a straight line, which actually, that's what they did in the films. The car's going in a straight line when they hit the oil slick and inadvertently. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, oil slick. Go for it.
Go on. I hope this is right.
Does the OPF suggest any different choices?
The OPF would have suggested a different choice.
How about we go east?
Let's go east. Go east sounds like a lovely idea this time of year.
Let's go east. All right, let's go east. Because it didn't take out the car. It has that phrase of the hugging the mountainside lookout road offers a Christmas card view of the valley below.
No.
Let's go east.
It's not the courtesan thigh.
Our memory is the worst.
It's the sort of thing I would have loved to have gone east. Honestly, I think we all want to go to east. Let's do that.
All right, let's go east. Here, the road curves its way around the mountainside like a giant sickle, angling steeply down to the south. Lookout Road forms a straight handle to the west. The lead car remains 50 meters behind you. So let me see. Actually, what you chose right there, I don't think was bad because they chose something different, but it had the same thing. We're good. We're good. We're good, guys. So here the road curves to the mountainside like a giant sickle angling steeply down to the south. So it seems like you could go south if you want to because you went east last time. So just remember, don't go west. It'll just go right back into them.
Yes.
So you could go south, angling steeply down. The lead car remains 50 meters behind you.
Okay.
That's so close.
So 50 meters is still too far behind to do anything.
Yeah.
So we've got to keep driving.
OBF can't really help right now. OPF, sorry.
Let's ask how Tilly's doing. She's been along for a while now.
Yeah, try kissing her. You'll probably get some more than now's not the time for kissing. All right.
I just love the idea that the National Lampoon where they go around the roundabout like a million times in a row.
Yes.
I get the feeling we're gonna start doing that at some point.
I know. Well, we know we can't go west.
Can't go west.
Shall we keep? I think what is it? South is our best choice.
You have the option of south. Let me double check in south or west. Oh no, you can't go west because you just
can't go west because
So it looks like just south,
which we've learned our lesson. Finally, yes. We're going south.
Where the bad guys are, we need to avoid. In that case,
the steep section of the road climbs north to a sharp curve and descends south into a valley. It says south what? Like as a question mark. I don't.
Oh my word! I wasn't expecting this level of interrogation from a 1986 video game. South?
I don't. I'm very confused with what it wants there.
Oh, this is great. You meant to be like, please?
I don't know what to tell you right now. Like this is not.
Put south in caps. Be assertive.
Go south. Can we just?
Go south.
Go south.
I think because the instructions.
Oh, we're back in Goldfinger's clutches.
What? How did we do that?
The road forks here. One time, I did it south in all caps. The road forks here. One time descends south to the village below, while the second bends west towards Auric Enterprises. A straight line shoots steeply up the mountainside. The lead Mercedes cuts you off, forcing you to stop, and then it repeats.
Well,
so here's what I'm going to do real quick, just so we can see. So literally, the where everything kind of curved off was you went with the oil slick instead of the smoke.
Oh, of course. So obvious.
Why wouldn't it, right?
I love this about classic video games, is that the level of impossibility for certain choices. Oh, that is fantastic. So it should mean smoke then oil, right?
It should. So it has you open the armrest, it has you going west, and then it has you pressing the white button. So I'm literally just kind of going right up to it. Then it has you going north. Then it has you going north again.
Well, what you were talking about was when you were actually playing this, if you did not record down all of your previous answers, I mean, this is literally just replaying this game over and over again. North, east, west, this command, this command, this command, in this order.
Yeah, it's true. Real.
Well, and this is this person's walkthrough, mind you. Like when I was playing with the dragon, when I was playing with the Taste of Dragons crew, they got lost, but they were able to get back onto the track. Like I was able to catch them back up to where they needed to be, which I thought was really interesting. Like the fact that like you didn't have to follow this guide. This guide was just the most efficient way to get from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. But you don't need to follow this guide. So
can we?
Sorry, finish what you're saying.
Can we use the OPF to take us to the next part of the game just to see what's there?
Yes, okay. That's what I'm doing right now. So the last thing that the lead Mercedes caught up to you, basically, we're back to the place where there's the northern pass lies between the two peaks. The village is nearby, and the Swiss Army base is nearby. And we're going towards we're probably going to end up going east towards that clinging steep flank. But they want you to use the gray button here, which is clouds of smoke billow from the exhaust pipe, making pea soup out of the air behind you. You hear the satisfying sizzle of a Mercedes smashing into the electric fence.
Oh, that was
the whole we got a satisfying sizzle this time.
That's some superb alliteration. That's wonderful. I love the fact that also over there in the States, do you know what a pea souper is?
What pea soup is?
They said they made a pea soup out of the air behind. Is that a phrase you guys are aware of?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, just checking, because otherwise I feel that would
Yeah,
have been the most
the fog
confusing
was as
sentence
thick as
ever.
pea soup. You don't
I was
have
wondering
you don't eat pea soup in England?
not
I don't
daily.
eat pea soup ever, but I know what it is.
I was just wondering because that phrase by itself sounded like, okay, they pressed the pea soup button.
The
Your enemy,
exorcist button, right?
your enemies drive through, somewhat perturbed by your choice of weapon, but continue regardless.
If Birb was driving, it would just, Birb poop all over them. That would come out of the oil slick.
They're splat right on the windshield.
Oh my god.
I can't see anymore.
So the air behind you hear a satisfying sizzle of a Mercedes smashing into electric fence. So it kind of makes sense, but like at the same time, why would the oil slick not work? Couldn't you just use that and it would spin out of control into the electric fence?
Yes!
Like I feel like it would have worked just the same. The electric fence followed by an even more pleasing sound of a second Mercedes turning into scrap metal. So that one took out 2 cars. You speed toward lookout. Tilly relaxes slightly and a taut smile across her face for a moment. You speed toward the lookout road. And then there we go, the hugging mountainside with the Christmas card view of the valley. The remaining car, so that's the key thing. It's not the lead car anymore. There's only 1 car left. The remaining car has now lost ground and is 100 meters behind you. This one, the OPF says to go east. Praise the OPF.
I think like Bond has an instinct, right? Bond has something on the inside telling him what to do. I think we just discovered that the OPF have actually been there from the very beginning. This is the first of the OPF canon.
What does the F stands for? Omniscient Philly
Fella.
Yeah, fella.
Fella. Okay, I was like,
fella.
why did I go with OPF? Because it would be OPV if it was voice, but we're gonna go with fella. We'll go with fella.
Yeah.
Omniscient Philly fella. It's alliterative too.
It makes it slightly harder to say, which is what we're all about.
Okay, so the remaining car has caught up to. So here the road curves its way around the mountainside. Okay, thank God it's not the courtesan again. Mountainside like a giant sickle angling steeply downhill to the south. Lookout Road forms a straight handle to the west. And then the remaining car has caught up to you. One of the Koreans leans out and fires a gun. So your last one here is your black button, which is the oil slick.
Yes, there we go.
The spraying sound comes from the back of the DB5. You glance in the rearview mirror. Shows an oil slick glistening across the surface of the road. The final Mercedes hits it, spins like a pinwheel, and smashes through the guardrail rail to the valley below. Breathing a sigh of relief, you slow down and head toward the steep road. Tilly sinks to the back of her seat. This steep section of the road climbs north to a sharp curve and descends south into the valley. So that is where. Then I'll give you one more command here, and we can move on because this one I don't know. How would you know that you're done driving? This one actually just says open door. So how would you know that you're done driving? I don't know. You could have kept on driving and not known anything.
Oh, geez.
I love that. I love these games. They're fantastic.
So open door. You open the DB5's door. What do you think should be now that you're now? I'm going to be very.
I can't believe we did this first try. By the way, due to the miracle of editing, we did this first try.
OPF is a wonder. It's a praise the OPF.
Hallelujah.
So this is so. I want to remind you that this game makes you give very specific commands. So you just parked your car and you open the door. What do you think you should do next?
Okay, turn off the car.
That is a good one.
Shut door.
But the OPF doesn't. But it's not that.
Shut door.
Let's see.
Well, you don't want to shut door. You're still in there.
Oh, get out of the car.
Oh no, really? No, shut door while I'm still in it. Let's have a little competition. Let's make the car clap.
That's what. That legit. I was like, that's what it was. I was
wow.
Yeah. So you get out of the car. So you step out of the DB5 at the steep road, not on it, but at the steep road. I don't know why it says that. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So what do you want to do? You got a world of choices.
Exactly.
Now, is this something where we can get Tilly out? So do we have to open her door to let her out? Or do we just assume she's following behind us?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Bond's a gentleman. He would open the passenger door.
Before we do before we do that, do we want to examine the environment first? Just have a look at actually just be able to tell what's completely around us, or should we get her out first? What do you think? Actually, Bond would go with the woman first, right? So let's go for Tilly.
So I will try to say open Tilly's door. How's that?
Yeah, let's try
good.
that.
It just says the DB5's door is already open.
Oh, strong independent woman. She does
Now
it
let me
herself.
try one more thing though. I did not put an apostrophe S because I didn't know if it would handle it. Open Tilly's apostrophe S door. Door.
Our survey
Same
says.
thing. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
In that case, can we look?
This steep section of the road climbs north to a sharp curve and descends south into the valley. The DB5 is here.
Gosh,
I guess we should go north to the pass or to the path, right? Walk north.
OPF likes that idea.
Okay.
Oh, in that case, I think we should. That's a fantastic call, Birb. Let's walk north.
You're back at the sharp curve. You see the oil slick.
Where oil slick? Let's roll
Do you want
around.
me to type in look again? You can type in look.
I think would it be look or would it be examine possibly? Like that's it. Before we type this, what do we think the game's asking us to do, Birb? What do we think is what do we think is trying to happen? Because you've walked up here for a reason. Why do we have walked here?
I mean, is the oil slick now just some sort of landmark that we're trying to... I feel like the crazy thing about this game is I almost feel like you should have a sheet of paper in front of you mapping this out where you're going.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, though, it is a little bit easier because I can see the text prompts and you guys can't read them. So it's like you're really going in blind on this. If I was trying to find a way to share my screen on this site, but it's not really letting me do it. So.
I don't think you need to. We've been incredibly successful so far. Right. Okay. Kiss oil slick.
Kiss oil.
Come on, Chris.
You don't usually waste your.
Between examine and look. Should we say examine oil slick?
It'd be examined, surely.
You don't usually waste your kisses, 007.
He doesn't.
Just all right. So, do you want me to examine oil slick?
Seems like the appropriate thing to do, right?
The oil slick looks as black and slippery as a sheet of ice.
I guess just keep walking then. Wait, we've got to walk around the oil slick because we don't want to slip and fall in the oil slick.
Bond falls and is immediately captured by Goldfinger.
Well, I can tell you, OPF thinks the oil slick is inconsequential.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. I love that. In this
smoke screen sure wasn't inconsequent.
I mean, this OPF guy is just really helpful.
I love that in this version of Goldfinger, Bond spends a good 10 minutes just looking at this oil slick and he's like, I guess not, and walks on.
Like, it would have been even better though if the beginning of the game was just Bond playing cards against Goldfinger, like when you like in the movie where he's like reading the moves to Goldfinger after whatnot. Like that would have been a lot more interesting. This literally picks it up like midway through the movie. Like the beginning, like, you have no context as to why you're chasing after Goldfinger. At least in the movie, obviously you have that context.
We don't have Jill. We don't get to see her painted gold.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right.
So here, let me try look real quick
just
to see. So look seems to be the best idea to get your bearings. Here the road curves its way around the mountainside like a giant sickle, angling steeply downhill to the south. So you just came from the north, right? Yeah, you came from the north.
We were walking north.
You're walking north.
Going
Lookout
north.
Road
don't
forms.
Want to go south.
Yeah.
So angling steeply down to the south, which is the way you came. Lookout Road forms a straight handle to the west.
So we want to go west.
Yeah.
There you go.
Life is.
I'm getting the hang of this now.
You're back at Lookout Road. That's all it says. So we're going to do another look because that seems to be the only thing that gives you any type of hint.
Look at Lookout.
Hugging the mountainside, Lookout Road offers a Christmas card view, blah, blah, blah. To the west is the North Pass. All right, so to the west is the North Pass, and to the east lies a sharp curve. The road's southern shoulder widens into a lookout, and in the ground is a manhole cover. Okay.
So let's open manhole.
So you actually want to go to where it widens into the shoulder, to get to that manhole cover, which is the south.
Travel to
we
manhole.
want to open the manhole, or do we want to examine the manhole?
Well, here's the road's shoulder. Here the road's shoulder widens into a scenic lookout from which to enjoy the now moonlit spectacle of the Alp-rimmed valley. An intense red glow emanates from beyond the guardrail at the lookout's edge. Below is the main factory building of the Auric Enterprises complex. Hurrying figures move purposely about the shadowy passage around it. South of the factory rise the gold Gothic turrets of the Goldfinger Chateau. The lookout exits north.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm actually going to give you this next one. OPF is going to give you this next one because closely look at guardrail.
I've just realised it should be double OPF, right?
You're right. It should be double OPF. I love that. The double omnipresent silly fellow.
Oh my word! This is exactly how I remember Goldfinger. There's a point in the film actually. If you play it really slowly before he walks in until he goes double APF. What the fuck am I doing? Okay, cool. Off we go.
Next time you watch this movie with your dad, you're gonna be like, OPF told him to do that, and you're asking me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who is OPF?
Jesus Christ, Chris, go to bed.
So this one where it is closely look at guardrail, which is one of those ones where it's like, why would you think to do that?
Is that the close guardrail?
What? Sorry,
I was wondering. This was the guardrail moment. I've been looking forward to that.
This waist-high guardrail is formed of finger-thick steel cable threaded through stanchions set 10 feet apart. One end of the cable has worked nearly free from its mooring.
Oh.
So we must need the cable. So
yeah, something to do with the cable end.
We've got wrap as a prompt, haven't we? No, we don't.
I would think you would want to take out the cable, and then there's this manhole, and then maybe we could use the cable somehow with this manhole.
In that case, should we pull a cable?
Pull it out? Can we pull out the cable?
OPF thinks it's a good idea to pull the cable.
Yes.
Let's try
that. You tug on the cable and manage to free one end. The cable now hangs over the edge of the lookout.
Oh, so we can rappel.
There we go. So what do we? I assume if we just say jump off cliff, we're not going to do anything with the rope. So let's.
You know what? I'm just going to tell you what the command is because you guys are doing exactly what the game wants you to, but it's guessing the command. It's just down.
Down. I wouldn't have guessed down. Yeah.
I love how we go from closely examine guardrail to down.
Down.
Down, boy.
I just love the idea as well. Just like he just walks up. I love the idea that James Bond, is like pulls the guardrail, looks aside, and his brain goes down. Like jump. I love the fact that even in this, like Mel was like repel, no down. just down. I'm going to go.
There's nothing more to it. What's even funnier is that the walkthrough for this just lists just single letters. So E for east, N for north, S for south, so on and so forth. So when it just had D, I'm like, it's giving me the D? Oh, it's down. Okay.
Oh, of course Bond trips up when the command is D.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He looks at D and goes, send? Sorry, this is meant to be a very serious James Bond podcast.
No. Oh my god. This has been great. Give me actually 1 second, guys. My wife just got home. Just want to make sure everything's all good.
Of course, no worries.
Be right back.
Oh, we're going to be recorded too. We can. Okay, so at this point in the podcast, Birb and Brit take a moment to think about the adventures they've been on so far. Brit turns to Birb and says, "Birb, it's been an incredible trip. What do you think lays in front of us?"
Oh. had so much fun. No, what lays in front of us?
I find it. I love the sort of the real trial by error.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
could you
loving it.
imagine? Oh gosh, I would get. I know Josh was talking about how frustrating you would be. I remember playing games like this back in the day. I don't think I ever got through them.
It's just as you say. I imagine you must go into this understanding that you need to make a note. You must have a notebook and write down every single choice you make.
You'd have
Like that's
to.
the only way
And
you
then
can
go
play
back,
this.
scratch that out. Okay, go back. And the fact that you've got to go back in, do all of the prompts, and then can you imagine getting that close to the end, and then you get captured, try again, and then
Do
you've
it
got to go
all
back to
over
the
again.
beginning, type all of these commands in.
Well, you're
And
as you said, you're an Atari girl, right?
right.
You played
So there was no memory.
That's
like
it,
these games were never saved.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's not like there's not even a checkpoint system either. You had you've got Adventure, right?
Yes, I have that game.
Did you ever go through and get the Easter egg in that game?
Oh gosh, I know the Easter egg exists in there. Have I ever actually seen it pop up? Yes, I have.
Really? Because that's one of those things where like this is something I'm most fascinated about with video games. Is how do people discover some of these things? Like in that one, going up to a particular corner of a room, finding what is called the invisible dot, then going straight back to another room on a certain path. That must be sheer luck, right? Because if you discover that for the first time, there's no way you're going to remember exactly what you did. I don't know if it's like, possibly it must have been leaked, because sometimes it's just such an incredible circumstance.
Okay, that game. So you've got like these easy levels, and then it gets harder and harder and harder. And then, if I recall correctly, at one point you're actually in the dark, and you're stumbling around, and you're carrying a light with you, so you can't even see the maze walls. You're just in the dark.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to stumble upon it accidentally because you're just hitting with like everything that you're smacking into stuff. It's. And you're asking me this, and I'm having to go through. I know I've seen it. I know it seems what it looks like. I'm almost positive I've seen it in the actual game. Whether or not I stumbled upon it or knew it, I honestly couldn't tell you. Oh.
Josh, did you get into that seat?
Yeah, I just sat down.
I swear I literally just saw I swear you just arrived from the bottom. That was amazing.
So
insane.
I sat. I probably came in like this because I probably came in like that. So I realized you couldn't hear me because I wasn't near the mic. I probably came in like that because I was picking.
He rises from.
I was picking up my headphones.
Oh, I love that.
So now you lower yourself down the cable, which proves disappointingly short. You are hanging about 5 meters above a dark alley within Arc Enterprises. And I think, Chris, you mentioned this off mic. This is the perfect cliffhanger to leave the listeners at, because Bond's literally hanging 5 meters above Arc Enterprises. We've been going for a while now. Let's shelve this. Maybe we'll come back to it. Maybe we won't. But this was a lot of fun for me just to kind of like go through this. It's not. Text-based adventures are tough, and you have to have a specific mindset going into it. But what makes it more fun is hanging out with people and just kind of making fun of it as you go along. Yeah. So before we wrap up, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Did you I guess two questions. One, would you play this on your own? Or two, would you come back to play this again on the podcast just to rip it and make fun of it?
I would definitely come back to rip it. Playing this on your own, that's a really interesting question, because I feel like whoever the developer, the writer, I know you said, I think Benson wrote this, if you're having fun with it, like the whole, typing in certain prompts, like when we were joking around saying like kiss Goldfinger, that's an awesome opportunity to actually write that in and be like, Goldfinger comes up with some type of quippy comeback when Bond like tries to make a pass at him or something like that.
Goldfinger passionately embraces Bond.
Like You could have
We have all the
so
time in the world,
much-
Mr. Bond.
You could have
We have all the time in the
so
world,
much-
Mr. Bond.
There you go.
Oh, those for those Bond fans know will get that reference.
But I mean, you could really have a lot of fun with that, or but unfortunately, it gets really frustrating when you try to type in some of these commands and just get nothing. And that's where I feel like the frustration comes. And then also, it's you have to choose these ways in this exact order, like we learned. You have to hit the gray button at this moment, otherwise you get captured. How many times you would have to play this over and over again and like have a notebook keeping track of everything you've done? Oh, it would just get so frustrating. And then think about, and correct me if I'm wrong, so if you get up close to the tail end of the game and you fail, wouldn't you then have to start back all the way at the beginning and go through all of these prompts because you're not saving the game? That would be the most madness. I can't imagine playing this through the entire game. I can't imagine.
Well, you know what? Let me try something real quick. There is a save game option on here. I don't know how it works though. Yeah, so I can type in the command prompt, save game. Would you like to save this game? I can hit Y.
Okay.
Yeah,
you would have to do that so many times because the thought of going back to the beginning and going through all of these prompts would just, and keep in mind now, I'm an Atari girl. Our games had no memory. So if you die, you're starting at the beginning all over again.
Yep. And it gets like this one isn't so bad. It does have, so it lets you save between 9 different slots, 1 through 9. Most likely since I'm doing this on a website, it's not going to save our game at all, which is fine. Cause if we decide to do this again, I can literally get right back up to the exact same spot. So that's not an issue. And then I'll save it there. So that way, when we inevitably die, I can just load the game right from that point again. That'll actually, I don't know why I haven't been doing that this whole time, actually. I feel like I just wasted like an hour and a half of our time.
I wouldn't have brought that up.
I just noted. I just thought about this now. I apologize to you and yours this holiday season.
Oh no, it's way more fun backtracking, driving around, throwing the car in reverse, like you said, Chris.
We went for a leisurely drive around the Alps. That's what it was.
For me personally, I could see playing with this with other people, sitting down, making an evening of it, and be like, okay, this is going to be arduous, but we can get through this. Let's order a pizza. Let's get some beer. I think, playing it by yourself, at the end of it, you'd be like, oh, like, that wouldn't be the satisfaction of finishing a game. So that's why I'd take it. And I'd love to come back and rip this on a podcast. I want to finish it now. I want to see what the ending is.
Oh my gosh. Because I mean, who knows what it would be after all of our shenanigans going through this. But okay,
could you imagine?
So that's it for this episode. Where can the good people find you online?
I am at Birb, James Birb. That's BIRB period James BIRB. That's on Instagram, and Birb is also on Twitter, though he doesn't tweet very much. So. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, the James Bond parody.
I love it. Love it. What about you, Chris?
I'm Instagram as well, Instagram only. British Bond Addict. That's how you can find me. You can tell it's me because there's an unashamedly huge Union Jack in the profile picture.
As for me, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at StillLoadingPod on all of them. You can email me at stillloadingcontact@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. Go give it a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or whichever podcasting app you use. And if you want to support it monetarily, you can go to patreon.com/stillloadingpod. Even just $1 a month will help grow the show. And the most important shout out I have is the Bit by Bit Foundation. The Bit by Bit Foundation is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to put video games and video game consoles in the hands of children receiving inpatient care at hospitals. So if you want to go support them, go to bitbybitfoundation.org and consider donating. And that will do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun for me. I hope you all had fun listening. Chris and Mel, thank you so much for joining me for this episode.
Thanks for having us on. It's been a blast.
And I will see you all next time.